On. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous of 4. Okay, 81 Ps.
Okay, what we have here is an 81P plan on Highland Street. No new lots are being created. This is the original recorded plan. You can see that in between this lot, where this lot line was here, it had a jog in it. And basically, we've eliminated that jog and made it a straight line. And that was all.
Oh, is that it?
No,
You don't have to repeat it.
just move on.
Motion.
Yeah, I'll second that one.
Moved by Pat that we sign the 81 P, seconded by John. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous of 4. Okay, we got number 3, 345 Fortune Boulevard. We got 2 of them. First one is lot 32.
You want me to read my report
Nope.
while he's putting the thing up? Or
Nope.
Do you want to read it?
I'm not gonna read it, I'm just gonna say that you,
Well, you should read it.
then, you get to be first. You can. I'm just saying, Larry's giving a favorable on the lots.
Pass that down. That's Bonnie's on this one.
Do we each get a copy?
We'll just wait for Bob. Bob will give his thing, and then we'll go.
Pass them down.
Just being here.
Oh, you can keep it.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to give you a little something else that will help you understand where we are.
Thanks, Bob.
There's an aerial on the last sheet of your packet as well.
I think he has a larger version of that.
So you can see it from there.
Yeah, those are the other two. They're the same.
Those are extras.
Okay, this is lot 32, Fortune Boulevard. It's owned by the Evergreen Center. Currently, right now.
Pick up the mic.
Oh, yeah. Pick up the mic. Sorry. Currently, right now, if you look on this aerial, you can see it. I've got it highlighted here as lot 32. It's basically a vacant lot. There's nothing on it. It's got some. There's a construction road that's in a gravel road here, and there are several stockpiles of gravel and rock and material that have just been accumulated over the years. So the applicant is proposing to extend the driveway on lot 21A from their school campus building, their lot, run along through the property and back out and access onto Quarry Drive. The sole purpose of this is to provide additional parking for employees, overflow parking for employees of the project, of the site. And then they have 2 buildings on the existing lot, lot 21A, that are for records, educational storage of educational records and materials and other equipment. So what they proposed, originally they had proposed to take these 2 metal buildings and move them over into here and eliminate them there, but in talking to the contractors, they basically were told that it's cheaper to just build a new building than it is to try to dismantle this and move it again. So they decided to leave these for storage as they are and actually show this area here as future storage for records, but then construct two banks of the small self-storage units. These are 10 by 20 units here, and these are 10 by 30 units here. So basically, it's going to be record storage, parking, and over in this area here where this parking is, these spaces are a little bit larger, and there's going to be a canopy over them for some of their equipment for snow removal and you know, maintenance equipment for the whole site. So you can see that the project, this lot 21A that you see here, that's their main building right now, and then this is 32, which is, as you can see, the existing gravel road, and this is where they're proposing to make this development up in here. They're also going to do something on this lot that they own here, lot 34, which is not part of any kind of site plan requirement, because really it's just going to be, they're going to make some raised beds for the students to do gardening and stuff in the summer. And the entire area is going to be connected, all three lots are going to be connected by a trail that's just going to come around and just surround the entire area. There's an existing detention basin here that was constructed when Granite Park was constructed. The Granite Park situation here is that when Fortune Boulevard was constructed, the plans were done and designed such that it was assumed that 90% of this site would be in a developed condition, and that each lot would be considered 85% impervious. And at the time when Mike Santoro was reviewing all the drainage requirements, he required that a runoff curve number of 95 be used for everything on the whole site. So generally when we do a runoff curve number, we break it down. We say we got so much pavement, we got so much grass, we've got so much woods, and the average curve number you normally would find would be anywhere between 70 and 80. In this case, this entire project, entire Fortune Boulevard, was designed on a curve number of 95. Therefore, it's been the practice whenever a lot that's not been developed becomes developed, it's been accepted that the drainage has already been accounted for in the series of quarry holes that were used throughout the project to collect and attenuate runoff. So we've done some drainage. We've shown some catch basins to drain manhole to collect the runoff within the new paved areas that we're proposing. There is an existing drainage system that there's an outlet from this detention basin which flows to an existing 24-inch pipe, and then to Quarry Drive, and then through that out through a 36-inch pipe, and then there's and goes to that large basin that's near the cemetery, near St. Mary's Cemetery. So what we're doing is we're proposing to connect this set, the majority of the site, with the majority of the impervious that we're proposing will be collected within this drainage system, enter into a storm scepter unit prior to discharging into the existing drainage system, and then be allowed to go to the large detention basin that's already constructed. We've got a set of basins here at the very end, which only takes up about a 1/1200th of an acre, just this little bit of impervious here, and that's going to be just connected into the existing system, and eventually it will go into the existing catch basin. We looked at we did a TSS removal calculations based on the percentage of flow that would go to each area, and based on that, and based on what was there, we far exceed the 80% TSS removal for this particular project. One of the questions that's come up is the reason why are we doing this along this area here? I mean, obviously we're proposing a trail along the edge of the wetlands. It'd be somewhat of like a nature trail to for the students to walk around, but we have previous sketches that we've done for Evergreen that shows another building possibly constructed in this area here. So we're limiting, and that building, that design had this roadway pretty much right where we're showing it, and then everything the building was here and the parking was constructed around it. So we want to leave the option. This is a good sized lot. It's 6.82 acres, and we wouldn't want to restrict the development of it in the future, because the Evergreen campus is growing all the time. So that's pretty much the presentation for lot 22.
Okay, again, what Larry said meets all the zoning requirements, he gives a favorable recommendation. Have you addressed Bonnie's letter at all?
I did add the pipe sizes, because I met with her this afternoon, and I did add the pipe sizes to all these pipes, the existing pipes. She had asked me to do that.
And the buffer zone, because of the fact that that's the way,
Yeah, I mean, that's the, you know, to allow for future development of this lot, this is the way we, you know, we're looking to do this.
okay, we'll go through the list of letters. Highway, proposed drainage will be, the law, butts a cul-de-sac. We need to be assured the extra runoff will not affect the residents at the end of East Charles Street.
And as I say, I did a calculation for this particular site. Like, as I said, the lot, the drainage was originally designed for this entire property to be a 95 curve number. The proposal, as it's shown here, it creates a runoff curve number of 88. So we're actually not even producing the amount of runoff to this system that was originally designed for it. Even after looking at what the proposed building might be on this site, if we developed it with a building, the runoff curve number still only get up to 90.5. So we feel that the drainage system as designed, based on a 95 curve number, and we're only proposing an 88 curve number for what we're doing, is sufficient to handle what we're proposing.
The lots on East Charles Street are higher than the thing, and they haven't had any problems.
Correct,
at
that's
all.
correct, yes.
Okay, fire department,
Fire department, I spoke to Mr. Tui, he was asking me to put a fire hydrant in this location here. The thing is that there's no water utility being proposed within this roadway. And then in talking to him and going out there, he found that there's an existing hydrant that is located right here that we had not shown on the plan. So he's fine. He's fine with the fact there's a hydrant right there. His concern was that the closest hydrant was gonna be all the way down here, and, you know, he didn't like it to be that far away.
can we
so-
get another letter, can we, Larry, can we get another letter from the fire chief on that?
Yeah,
So-
you've talked to.
I talked to him, and I met with him out on the site, and, you know, and he's,
Again, have him do it so Larry can have it
we
as
can have
part
it in
of
the file.
files,
Yeah, that's fine,
and, we don't have a problem there.
sure.
The water company, again, I imagine the same, because it's not
no water
requiring any
demand.
water.
Right.
And
The Commission on Disabilities, it appears that all his comments are geared to Lot 21A. I don't see anything in there that has anything to do with Lot 32, so.
okay. Members of the board? Any comments?
Says all right with me.
You're gonna now have an entrance off of Quarry, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no concerns.
No.
No. I'll
Motion.
move,
Okay, what's the motion, the pleasure of the board?
Let Lena.
I'll move,
Approval of the site.
approve the site plan
You want to wait till the end, or you want to do them now?
Okay,
with a letter from the fire
The end?
department, making sure that,
You wait till the end. 'cause
Okay.
I-
One issue.
I'll second.
got a motion by Lena to approve the site plan review, with the thing that we'll get the letter from the fire chief on the hydrant. Seconded by John. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
right?
Opposed? Unanimous of 4.
Hey, you wanna wait till the end to do all the bylaws?
Sure.
Want this one, Dave?
Or do I have to do them?
I think you do.
Joe.
I think you do.
Certainly make a mess by.
Okay, now we get lot 21A. I take it you're up for that too, Bob? I'm up for this too, yes. While I am doing this, I would like to
acknowledge that we have several members that represent Evergreen Center, and I'm just gonna ask them to stand up and introduce themselves to you while I'm passing stuff out.
Mr. Mayo from Maxwell Architects. John Williams from the same office.
Luke Perry, Director of Facilities.
Hi, Judy Holbert, representing Evergreen.
Get that.
See you.
Huh?
What a place you have. It's wonderful.
You get those names written down after for the secretary.
If we have business cards, we can do it
Yeah.
that way as well. That might facilitate if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So,
Hold on now, Bob. See,
hold on.
You had him do something, so.
You started the trouble.
Yeah, see? No, now you have to be
oh, you
patient.
gotta do this? I'll collect them, how's that?
Not a boy, Bob, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, make yourself useful.
I didn't say that. That was Larry.
That's okay. We'll continue it, we'll continue it.
I only point that out because that would be something I would say. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the existing Evergreen Center campus, and the proposal right now before you is an amended site plan for the construction of an addition for a proposed aquatic center. Before I get too far along with the site plan amenities, Judy's going to get up and she's going to explain to you what the aquatic center is going to be all about and how it's going to affect the town of Milford and possibly benefit it.
Hi. You're all familiar with Evergreen, it sounds like, but Evergreen's been providing supports and services to children with significant challenges for 30 years, 20 years on the Fortune Boulevard site. We're seeking to build an aquatic center to further enhance the supports and services that we can provide for our students, especially supports and therapy services for students with physical disabilities. Currently, students from Evergreen need to go to off-site pools to access those therapy services. So we're hoping to enhance the services we offer at Evergreen by making that part of the program model. And we are aware that, you know, Milford does have a town pool. We're not seeking to replicate any of the programs that Milford currently has. However, similar to what we've done with the gymnasium at Evergreen, if Milford did have a need as far as overflow of programs, that Evergreen would be able to make their pool facility, aquatic facility, available for town usage. We've done that with our gymnasium over the years, that there's, you know, little kid soccer and it's competing with another field, so they'll do indoor soccer at Evergreen or on our ball field, and that's something that would certainly be available to the town as well. So primarily it's just to make things more convenient for our students, not needing to go off campus to different pool facilities. It can be challenging with the scheduling and getting the kids out during the school day and getting them back, and who wants to take them out in the days like this in the middle of winter when it's freezing to a pool, and so just being able to offer those services on site for students is the primary reason.
Perfect enhancement.
Thank you.
It certainly is.
Okay, so you can see this is the entire lot 21. Lot 32 is here, and here's the proposed connection from 21 to 32. Currently, there's existing parking field in front of the existing buildings. The majority of the proposed new building is going to occur within that existing parking field. So that's going to be kind of a trade-off of impervious area. We're also proposing now to expand this parking field that's here. We're going to expand it a little bit and create additional parking in front of the new building and around the side of the new building, additional handicap spaces, and then some of the existing pavement will be converted to green space. In the rear of the building, they have 14 existing parking spaces located in this area here. This is all pavement as it, you know, currently right now. They want to be able to park all their school vans here. So to do that, the spaces need to be 10 foot wide by 23 feet long. We couldn't do that and make those spaces and still maintain a 24-foot travel lane. So we're proposing to move the existing curbing back about 3 feet to provide the 23-foot long spaces. And then we're showing a 5-foot sidewalk along here. So currently there is no sidewalk, it's just green space. So that's the only other work on the property, and other than there's an existing metal building here, a garage, that's going to be removed. It's gonna be converted into a green space there. And the curve around the building, this addition was done in 2006, and it was kind of tight to get around it, so we're gonna improve on this pavement radius around this corner of this building in that process. That's all that's gonna happen back in here. Gonna be the handicap space is gonna be moved over here closest to the building. There's an existing ramp, and there's existing spaces here, but they're gonna be converted to handicap. There's existing drainage, which runs through here. It's gonna, and eventually will be removed when the construction of this building is concerned. There's existing water, fire protection within the building itself. And so what we propose to do is we propose some additional drainage. We've got a catch basin here to a drain manhole. We've got a roof drain coming off the building into this structure here. We've got another set of catch basins here with another roof drain coming in. Originally, we were looking at having everything flow to this existing drain manhole, but the depth is not deep enough to get from here to here. So rather than disturb it for just this one, we brought this around here, and we're discharging into an existing swale that runs along Fortune Boulevard. Now, the Fortune Boulevard drainage system, as constructed, consists of catch basins and manholes within the street, but also along the entire frontage, a riprap swale. You can see it really well in front of Martin Sprocket. Unfortunately, in this location here, it has been overgrown with saplings. There are leaves, leaf litter, and debris.
I think the word's neglected.
Yes, yes, it's been neglected. Here, we don't know.
That's fine.
We don't have the ability to place blame on the neglect at this time
Wasn't
because
asking for
we're
an
not
assignment.
sure whether or not it's part of the town's responsibility as part of the Fortune Boulevard street acceptance because the drainage within Fortune Boulevard periodically does dump into the swale, and eventually it gets into the big open quarry just before retrofit. So, you'll see when you get to the letters, but one of the things we're proposing to do within the frontage here is to clean the existing drainage swale of any debris, brush, and replenish the riprap that's there, regrade it, and make sure that it's got, the flow is contained. So we're now going to discharge after running the runoff through a storm scepter to clean it up. We're just going to discharge in this location where this catch basin discharges and this cross culvert discharges. I did an inspection after seeing the highway surveyor's letter, and even though it may appear that some of these swales just stop and disappear, they all are connected. There are culverts under every driveway. Sometimes it goes around a corner and connects in and comes back out, and then it dumps right into that massive quarry hole.
Is the swale in the road right away, or?
I believe that the swales are within the properties of the lots.
Okay.
But my intention is to look at the street acceptance plans and see if there was an easement that was left for the sole purpose of maintaining the swale. If not, my clients are fully intent to clean this all up and bring this into proper condition. I mean, they own the Criterion building as well, and that's been maintained. It's just somehow this just kind of slipped by. So they're willing to do that, willing to maintain that. So basically that's it. I've added a hydrant here at the request of the fire department. I've put a note on here about the handicap signs to be mounted on bollards so they could be protected from cars. We've created a ramp here at the drive curb drop-off so that with the proper slopes. So I've addressed the concerns of the Commission on Disabilities, and I've taken care of the concern of the fire department, and we've addressed the concern of the highway surveyor by agreeing to reestablish the swale and make sure that it runs the way it's supposed to. I talked to Vonnie this afternoon, and here, as opposed to her letter, talked about the swale. I did provide an operation and maintenance plan. That's pretty much more of a conservation issue. I did email that to her actually this afternoon, along with the revised plan. Basically, a couple of things that she was questioning on the plan. There's a, the sewer connection was kind of coming out the corner of the building to this proposed manhole, and she just wanted me to put a little bend in it to show that it wasn't gonna it's not gonna come out the corner of the building. She wanted it more representative of where it was gonna be, so I made that adjustment there. I called out this manhole here as a 6-foot diameter manhole because it's got 5 pipes going into it, which is one of the other things that she asked for. And then also, there was a existing drain manhole here that it wasn't clear that it's the existing storm scepter that was installed as part of the 2006 building addition and the additional pavement back in here, but the wording for it was kind of down here, and it didn't make it into the drawing. So I moved that so it was obvious and she could see where that was. So I did address all the comments that she had on her letter. And pretty much that's it.
Wow.
Okay. Larry's letter that existing parking will be relocated and reconfigured, and he reviews the site that's applicable for all the zoning requirements. He gives approval. Again, we're gonna have to get something from Ronnie, saying that it's done too. Sewer commissioners. We haven't got anything from the sewer?
No, there's basically no, we're only talking about an additional, couple of employees, and there was no,
There's an additional
There's no
connection.
facilities or anything in there?
yeah, well, we're,
We discharged the,
it's a
chlorine.
it's an existing sewer service, yeah.
It's an existing,
It's
that's,
a proposed sewer service going to an existing sewer main,
right.
They need a
the
letter.
drop over
Gonna
manhole.
have a letter from the sewer, absolutely.
They didn't issue one, yeah, they didn't say anything, right?
Still haven't said anything.
Scott. He's questioning he's questioning that, okay.
Yeah.
And again, the maintenance is not only just conservation, it's,
No, I understand, yeah, no, right, no, but we understand, like,
Yes.
who's gonna be responsible for it, and we're gonna investigate that. Obviously, I mean,
You wanna
Evergreen
go-
is
you
gonna,
wanna go
Evergreen's,
on a stretch and say that you're gonna absorb the, long-term maintenance of it?
well, I believe that they probably will, if
But
they're
you
gonna
don't
go
wanna
through
say
the effort, I can't talk
we
to,
do,
I can't,
we
you know.
want you to say that.
No one picked up on that, huh? No one? No, okay. Leave it up to us then, no problem. Good, Bob.
Okay, the fire department, the hydrant, you've
I put
done
the
the
hydrant in right where they, yep, right where they asked for it, yep.
Water company,
It's basically construction issues with the. Okay,
Oh,
so
thank
there you go, see that?
Thank you.
How's this?
okay, the
Commission on Disabilities,
Commission on
basically.
Disability.
Basically, they wanted the handicap signs along here to be mounted on bollards, so that so the cars wouldn't damage them. They wanted, handicap signs over here, same issue, but there's a grass strip along the building, so the handicap signs are gonna be located here in the grass strip. So those will be out of the way, cars won't be able to damage them. They wanted an area here at this curb drop-off that showed that there's an open ramp here without curbing that's a sufficiently sized, 20 feet wide. And they wanted 60 inches, but it's actually 72 inches is the sidewalk, the 6-foot sidewalk with the proper grades. That's been added to the plan. And also, there was a question as to the, I didn't change that note. They're gonna change a note, I have to change a note on the plan that says, the question was, the note says all entrances are handicap accessible. Well, the note should say that all designated handicap entrances shall be handicap accessible, so.
Right.
Because you
Change
can't have
number
every
12.
entrance for the building to be handicap accessible, because, topographically, there are some, so we have stairs here, we have stairs here, so. That would be a revision to, note 12, yes, that would be on the plan.
Okay, that's it. Comments from the board?
I think it's pretty well.
Okay, go ahead, Pat.
Essentially, you improve circulation. Is there a net increase in parking, or did it generally remain the same, Bob?
It actually pretty much remained the same. There was, we're required to have 90 spaces and we have 97.
Where did you start off with?
Probably 97.
I think we started off with,
Not sure, that's right.
I think we started off with 87
Okay,
and now we're up to 97.
okay. But the revisions as far as where you park in the busing, and then you
Yeah,
also
that's the
added-
same amount. 14 spaces are still
No, no,
there.
no, but to me, I think you also improved circulation when you did that.
Yeah.
And by adding a sidewalk, it also became more pedestrian friendly,
Friendly.
if you will.
Yes.
And then
Yeah,
if you
because there's a-
corrected and
you'll-
and you had a problem with your 96 or 2006 edition, and you've improved
Up
your
in here, we've
circulation
improved
over
that
there
there.
as well, then.
That's correct, yes.
To me, it's benefits that are well needed for the site. And provided that they're gonna take on the O and M,
Yeah.
I have no other, and since they were very gracious to offer that, I have really no objections.
Lita?
No, I was just looking at David Conray's, the water department, everything is all set.
Yeah, basically, it's all part
It's
of,
all
it's all
part of the
during
whole thing,
construction.
right?
It's
Yeah,
basically,
it
you know,
is, yeah.
So
the
what's-
materials that
it's
you
all
use and
materials,
this
right,
and
yeah.
that, so that's standard.
Okay.
John?
No, I'm all fine.
Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion to approve the amended site plan subject to a letter from the sewer, letter of support from Vonnie, based on the changes that you said that you went over.
Change of the note.
And the note.
And the note for the handicap
note.
accessible.
And
path.
maintenance.
Number
and-
12 in the,
and the
in the
maintenance.
approval of the O and M long-term maintenance. No, believe me, I wasn't gonna forget that one.
Get there, that's.
Okay, the sewer, the letter from the sewer, the letter from the town engineer, the change of the note and the maintenance of the
Okay.
thing.
Now, if I am able to get these before the next meeting, since this is a plan that only requires the chairman's signature, would it be something that I could get that plan and Mylar into Larry, and if you were around, you could come in and sign?
You wanna come to Springfield?
Oh, is that where you're going every day? I can pass you on the road. I'll tell you what, I'll have it in my
No,
car.
I could, I could get back.
Okay, that's fine.
So you wanna sign that part of your,
Yes, that was
part of your motion? Okay. Been moved and moved, seconded by John. With the notes, any further discussion?
Nope.
If not, hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous of 4. Thank you.
Good luck.
Go down to Rocky's Ace Hardware and buy all your tools, and you'll be all set.
Quite an expansion. Wow. There's something.
What else you got?
I got the next one too, I think.
You got,
158
You are
Main
such a
Street?
busy guy tonight.
Oh, yeah, they find out I'm coming, they just all come down.
yeah, 148, 150, East Main Street, yeah. Thank you, gentlemen, again.
I just need,
Good
I
night.
just need your
Good night.
name then.
Thank you.
Do have a class facility.
Luke, L-U-K-E, Perry, P-E-R-R-Y. It's the Director of Facilities for the Evergreen Center. Thank you.
In the drainage wells.
Good night, now.
Thank you.
Just so you can get more technical. I was just trying to be, you asked, I was just trying to be helpful. I knew there was a written form.
Chat with these guys.
Well, I just gave it to you, just, yeah. Yep, nope. You were doing so well with the plans, now you go back to the mini ones.
And he rolled them all up too.
Like, sheesh.
Larry, is the heat on or what? God, I'm freezing.
It's on 58.
Huh?
gonna say, you're just not on the road.
Where is this area?
Okay.
I don't ever remember seeing cars there.
All set?
Yes, sir.
Those are Mount Angelo girls.
Okay, this is an amended site plan for lots 42, well, actually, it's 352 and 353.
Mike,
Oh, jeez. Okay, back, this is an amended
I don't
site
blame
plan
you.
for lots 353 and 352 along East Main Street, Hamilton Street, and Free Street. Currently, this is a vacant lot. The applicant is proposing, the applicant is Milford Nissan, and what they're proposing is to just put cars there for display. They've gone to the ZBA, they have received a special permit to allow the cars for display, and so they got permission to display 30 cars. The cars are gonna be displayed such that they will prohibit access to the lot from Hamilton Street. And only, the access to the lot will only occur through Free Street. We've provided some parking spaces here for people who might wanna pull in and look around and look at the cars, so they don't,
Can I just ask
not gonna
something?
be on the street, so they can pull off the street.
Can I just ask something for clarity?
Sure.
You're not running a sales operation, these are just,
Just display.
Just
okay,
display.
because I'm assuming it
Less
has
storage, so
better.
It's gonna be spread out, and as you can see by the design,
So, a customer who is driving by, again, I don't quite understand the logic of what you just said as far as no access from Hamilton Street. What do you want people, just to abandon their cars so they can go out? I mean,
that was ZBA.
that was the ZBA requirement that there be no access. My intention was to leave the back open, but because Hamilton's a one-way street,
Right.
one of the board members of the ZBA was concerned that people would be backing out into the one-way street. So they were very emphatic about having it blocked off.
I saw
and he
that.
probably didn't live on
I
Hamilton
watched
Street.
Yeah, so that was one of the caveats to.
Okay,
one
I
do.
just, I thought it was exactly what you just said. It's a display area, nothing
Yes,
more than.
nothing more than
Right.
display,
Than a
correct.
display area, and I'm assuming from time to time, you're gonna come and you're gonna change up your
Change
display.
it up.
Oh,
and-
sure,
and-
absolutely.
No
Again,
more than
but,
30 at a time, right.
Yeah.
okay,
I
That's
mean,
it.
presumably people drive down Hamilton, make a left, and come back up Free and pull into the parking area, or.
no, and that's not what's gonna happen, so what's gonna end up happening is someone's gonna
They're gonna
stop on
park-
Hamilton
they're gonna Park
Street.
right there, and they're gonna come in and walk
And
around.
precisely, and I think it defeats the purpose of what you're attempting to do, and I just,
Yeah.
I understand I understand the theory, but the logic doesn't follow the theory, because I think leaving an opening so someone could actually pull in there
Right.
would have served you and customers a lot better
Sure.
than the alternative
My-
of just abandoning their car to get out and look, so.
Right. My intention was to put a one-way sign, you know, in the lots such that it would direct people right through it. but-
And I appreciate that, but for as long as, the last 20 years, it's been one way. And when it was a car display area prior to you,
Correct.
that wasn't an
A lot
issue.
more- a
So
lot more than
I'm a
30
little,
cars,
I'm
yes.
just a little taken back why we created an issue
An
here that
issue.
probably could have been avoided and should have been avoided, and I think it's,
I
Okay.
listened to that meeting, so I know exactly what.
and I didn't,
he's
so
talking-
I
know,
don't,
I heard the meeting.
I just
and
needed
was-
clarity, I'm sorry, Bob, I
Yeah,
just,
well,
I
yeah, well,
couldn't,
to do with-
I couldn't
Yeah,
understand the
I
logic.
just happened to turn it
They
on.
also got approval to utilize the freestanding sign as an off-premise sign, so the main sign on the property will still provide direction to the main dealership. And as I understand it, there'll be window tags, so as you look at the tag on the car to see what you're.
You allowed to put balloons,
Yeah.
or that was prohibited?
No,
No, balloons, American flags only.
Okay.
so, but there will be text on the windows near
Just like it's a
the,
vehicle display lot. Each car will have
Right.
this sign, basically said, this is a display lot for your, pleasure. Please visit us at 320 East Main
convenience, yeah.
Street. We don't want people to think that,
there's gonna be a salesman
there's a
showing up
salesman
there.
there,
Yeah,
why
there
isn't
isn't.
somebody waiting on me? They don't want my business, so we're
See, if I was the
putting
guy
these on
running
every
the
car.
red place, I'd put on a nice, I'd have a suit there, just so I could throw it on when I saw somebody else come on out and sell them a car.
But
Well,
those are,
you know what's
those
gonna
are
happen
only.
now, that you're gonna, the trooper that hangs out there and parks with the other cruisers that aren't sold yet, he blends right in. You might make him stick out again,
And how did you discover that, Pat?
because I saw smoke billowing out on a very cold day, and I knew the cars
Oh.
weren't
You're
supposed to
right,
be
he's there
running.
quite a
I
bit.
see.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's there
Yeah.
quite a bit.
We used to park
Blends
behind
right
my
in.
building, yeah.
Anyhow, I'm sorry, Bob, for the,
I'm pretty much done.
Good.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
No, well, I'll explain it to you later. Larry's comments is with the 30 vehicles, special permit to run with the applicant, there'll be no access from Hamilton Street because of the ZBA thing. And other than that, he gives favorable approval of this site plan. We got nothing added, so Lonnie wouldn't have anything to do with, on that.
No handicap.
There's
There's
really
no
nothing from,
handicap, the fire department, the water company's got nothing.
Nothing
I
there.
included a copy of the decision for you, babe, at the end of
Yeah.
the packet.
We'll check with Lena, she was an expert on it. She's our zoning board expert now. Any other comments from the board?
No,
No.
I move for approval with the decision stuff that Consigli's group put in the zoning board.
John Cook moved for favorable
I'll second that.
with the conditions of the zoning board, seconded by Lena,
I just have one further question.
by all means.
Bob, when we had an application, I think it was for a,
Restaurant,
was it a restaurant or was it like a mini mall?
restaurant.
Restaurant and some
And at
other-
that point, they were gonna do something to the rear fence. Now, obviously, you're parking cars, you're not really building anything, but,
I did know that. The, apparently, part of the decision was that this property line here was to
Yes.
be demarcated with just striping.
Right.
So that they would know where the limits of this lot was.
okay. Thank you.
We'll have to do that in the spring, obviously, but the way the snow's plowed now, it actually delineates it pretty well.
They just paved Free Street. They just paved Free Street. Can you drive on that, or,
Yes,
oh, that you can do? Okay.
yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, excuse me. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Hang in there.
Unanimous, thank you. Unanimous of 4.
We give them a fisherman's friend.
We'll have everybody drive down.
Why not? One way though.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Somebody do it in the malls. They just park a car and you go with
Okay, we
We're
have
going
a
outside, but
You
ZBA
can stay
special
if you like.
permit for 36 Spruce Street.
Do you want me to read through?
Yeah, go ahead, Larry.
Hey,
I didn't say a word.
Where are we?
Yeah,
Charlie's
yeah,
Mall.
36 Spruce Street.
I didn't say a word.
The applicant requests a ZBA special permit to convert the prior restaurant use in unit number 4 to a one-bedroom apartment on the subject property. The current building is configured with one apartment on the second floor and one apartment and 2 commercial units on the first floor. It's been condoed out. The proposed conversion will retain the apartment on the second floor and provide 2 apartments and the 1 remaining commercial unit on the first floor. The proposed residential unit will be less intense than the prior restaurant use and therefore less detrimental to the neighborhood. Therefore, I recommend a favorable report be forwarded to the ZBA. There's a series of
picture?
plans and maps at the end of the packet, the last 3 pages.
Charlie's Pizza.
Yeah, I know
Yes.
what it is.
Yeah, the,
Well, they have apartments there anyway, right?
right, that's what
Now,
you just
the
said.
pizza place is closing?
Pizza place is closed.
Oh, so they're gonna make it all apartments?
No, there's still gonna be 1 store.
There'll be one store?
The variety store in the corner.
Right.
That's right,
Right.
yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Now, we're only gonna have 2 two apartments here, right?
Three.
Three.
They're converting one of the stores to a department. But because it was a non-conformity in the first place, they're able to
I don't
request it.
like doing that. I don't like putting the additional apartments. Everybody else everywhere gets held to two apartments, and,
I signed the anyway.
but,
They did the same thing across the street.
They did.
Shelter. How many they getting there? 6?
yeah, we fought that too.
No.
I know. Okay, what's,
Favorable,
pleasure of the board, Pat, offer the favorable recommendation,
I'll second that.
Two of them,
seconded by Lena. All those in favor?
thanks.
Opposed? Unanimous of 4.
They did the same thing on South Pole, or Central, same thing.
Okay, sorry about
At this
that.
point, it doesn't,
Well,
I gave you mine, didn't I? Oh, that, take it off.
okay,
You ready?
special permit by the Ritz Club.
Yep, ZBA special permit, 178 East Main Street, the applicant's the Hertz Corporation. The applicant requests a ZBA special permit to establish a car rental operation in one of the commercial units on the subject property. The proposed business will occupy one 1,150 square foot unit of the multi-unit commercial plaza. The proposal is to reserve no more than 10 of the existing off-street parking spaces for fleet vehicle use. The proposed use will provide no vehicle washing, maintenance, or towing services on the property, and company staff will perform only interior cleaning and vacuuming of the fleet vehicles. Based on prior variances, the off-street parking can be adequately provided. Therefore, I recommend a favorable report be forwarded to the Zoning Board of Appeals. And I noted that, for their benefit, that the site plan needs to be approved by this board once they get their special permit. The,
Okay,
the last 2 or 3 pages has the plan and an aerial. They're looking at, they've labeled the end unit nearest Main Street as the space for their office. It's my understanding that the 4 units, or the 4 parking spaces, number 45, 44, 21, and 20, are to be utilized because that's near their side door. So if you rent a car and go to pick it up, that's where you'll pick up the vehicle. That's also most likely where they would vacuum out the inside of the vehicles because that's their side entrance door. The other additional 6 fleet spaces would be numbers 30, 31, 32, and on the other side of those, 41, 42, and 43. So that'll be the total spaces for the fleet vehicles. In the process of doing this site plan, they're shifting the parking bays to the east, away from Prairie Street. So even though there's still no curb along Prairie Street, the vehicles won't back directly into the street when they back out of those spaces to maneuver. So that'll be an improvement once we get through the ZBA and come back to us for site plan review.
one of the things I do, I kind of agree with O'Shea that I don't see why we have to give special parking spaces for them. It's taking away from the competitiveness of all the other businesses who are paying just as much rent, I'm sure, and everything to get guaranteed parking spaces. And there's
Well,
10 parking spaces, that's enough to cover for a rental place, then that's it. First come, first served.
Well, but the business that's going in there had a proposal based on X number of vehicles that they intended out of, I mean, they could have hundreds of vehicles on some site in some other town, for that matter, that they would draw from if we wanted to lease a vehicle. But they had a proposal to do X number of vehicles on this site. And the purpose of making sure that they're limited, in this case, to 10, is a function of the number of parking spaces that are required by the other businesses that are there that you mentioned. Plus, in this case, the ZBA had granted a pretty enormous variance years ago that changed the parking calculations, but nonetheless, there is a maximum density of use on this site, in this case based on parking, and I wanted to make sure, and the bylaw is set up so that we can make sure that they don't over-intensify the uses to the extent that there aren't going to be enough parking spaces for customers to go there. And so that's why they go through the
They can
process.
still do it anyway. I mean, if you do,
No.
if they brought 25 cars there,
You wouldn't know the difference.
you wouldn't know the difference.
Well, we would, because they,
Where they're coming and going.
You're gonna come there with the pad, go down, and then go to the police station and run all the plates?
Yeah, but then you could be there at the Assembly of God that they have there, and you
That's
could have
right.
just rented the car, so I mean,
Right.
the question comes, you know, but.
Yeah, I can't
well,
see.
but that's what the bylaw provides for, and he's meeting the requirements, is my point.
It provides
So
for
it's-
it if we wanted to do it. If we don't, have, but it doesn't say we have to do it.
Yeah, it says that they need those approvals to operate the business that way. If they wanted to go in there and have fewer spaces or have none, then all of the parking calcs would be a lot easier, but they didn't. They wanted to have the ability to have potentially as many as 10 cars at one time sitting there ready for us to run over and rent. So if that's the way they want to operate the business, then they get into these other calculations.
I don't know, when did that go into the bylaws? I don't remember.
Well, it's been there since I've been here, so at least 13, 14 years. So.
I don't remember using it. What's the pleasure of the board?
Well, they have to come back anyhow.
Right.
Yeah, they would need to come back for site plan approval.
I need your letter, please.
Oh, certainly.
I move for favorable recommendation. They have to come back for
I'll second that.
further discussion.
Are they gonna continue with the other operation they have, where they wash?
Oh, their current
Yeah,
location?
where they wash and
No,
everything? No?
No.
Okay.
at least that's my understanding. It's gonna get relocated.
Okay,
Okay.
Pat, you gave a
No, John and then.
John, excuse me, John and Lena moved the second for a favorable recommendation. All those in favor?
No.
Aye.
Aye.
No.
2 and 2.
2 and 2. All right.
Okay, now, the fun part.
Okay.
The building official and I have our laundry list of,
Oh, no, we're not done. It's on the agenda.
How many you got to sign?
Good, Larry, this shouldn't take you.
no, it shouldn't take too long. Come on, we had to listen to you.
Okay.
Yeah, nod off. The building official and I keep a running list of items or areas of the zoning bylaw that we think are either problematic or are out of date or otherwise need adjustment or need to be deleted or whatever. So from that list of 20-some, I took what I felt was what do we got, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5,
Just
you
run
know,
through them,
most
Larry, so you
most
can
pressing.
drive through what
So so the first one we'd talked about previously a little bit would be amending the business park zone to clarify that the life science research and development and scientific research uses are clearly provided for in the business park zone. And the way this chart was developed, it also clarifies that those uses would also be permitted uses in the other 3 industrial zones. And then additional amendment to the use chart would be to allow light manufacturing, fabrication, processing, and assembly to be accessory uses in the business park and the 3 industrial zones, because they would be associated with one of the research and development. The next one would be to delete the section about swimming pool fences, because the building code is specific about what's required or not, and our zoning bylaw is
What are you saying on this one, because I don't get this one?
it would delete the section in our zoning bylaw that talks about swimming pool fences, because the building code already addresses it. And our bylaw is in conflict with the state building code. So it's the simplest way to handle is just delete it altogether.
Okay.
And that was John's recommendation, obviously. The next one would be to delete the provision for supplemental apartments. It would delete the specific reference in the use schedule and obviously the footnote that went along with it. The concern we've had for a long time is that, in effect, the supplemental apartment provision is allowing you to make a duplex in a single-family zone, and while it may sound like it's a good idea because the supplemental apartment is for a relative, it's possible to have living accommodations for in-laws without creating a duplex. And the building official can handle that through the building code and the arrangement of rooms without actually making a single-family house a duplex, because once we've done that,
Larry, couldn't we handle that when we do the in-law apartments, you put it on the deed,
It's got,
and then when you sell the house,
Well,
it reverts
absolutely.
back? Why
but they
couldn't we do
don't,
that?
because it's not enforceable.
yes, it is enforceable.
I
Every other town,
I don't want to get rid of
every
the
other town
regulations.
has a thing that the
Well, I'll have
in-law
John-
apartments go with
The deed.
the deed.
But in reality.
And when the
we
people
don't-
sell it, they can't, the realtors aren't,
sold, it has
the
to revert
realtors can't
back.
sell it as a two-family house.
I'll have John
They
come and
can't.
address the
And-
concern.
And when the lawyers go up and look at the deed, they're gonna say,
It's a single
this is
family.
a single-family house. I mean, these other towns do it. I don't wanna change
I'm not
anything
changing anything. I'd
until
I'd rather explore the other
I
options.
wanna see, I don't care about what they build for an in-law apartment. I wanna make sure that no matter what they build for an in-law apartment, is not used for an apartment afterwards. That's
But
the,
that's been the problem with trying to
well,
enforce.
the problem is the enforcement then, not what they built.
I'll have John come and address your concerns, because he
Well,
deals
listen,
with
I
it
don't
all
know.
the
No,
time.
my concerns is
I
what
agree.
Pat's concern.
You want to
I don't-
eliminate
I
supplement?
agree, no, I agree.
I don't
that-
care what they
He
build.
doesn't view lights in people's houses as a problem, but this, come on.
Well, I think if the in-law apartment is there and then they
Should be on the
deceased
deed.
it, it should be on the deed, so we know.
Absolutely.
I have an in-law apartment in my house, because my mother lived with us.
Right, and you're not running the duplex.
No, but there's no separate entrance.
But that's the way it's
That when
supposed to
we-
be.
When we did it, that was part of the rule, you couldn't have a separate entrance.
I don't
They had
ca-
to enter
again.
through the regular part of the house.
Right.
I don't care where they get in, where they get out. My problem is the use of the building after.
Yeah. Yes.
After the in-laws.
Yes.
That's the only concern I have
Yes.
on an in-law apartment.
I agree.
If a
That
guy
was his
has the
concern,
means to
too.
put a very big area up for their in-laws, God bless them. But when it's over, it's
It's
over.
over.
But
totally
that's
agree with
John's
that.
concern too, is that when it's over,
But I don't think the way
they
he's
aren't
trying
all
to approach it
disappearing.
is the
His
right
way of approaching is not
I don't
even.
agree with
He
his
wants to
approach.
build a small one that still stays, rather than a big one that
It goes
goes.
around.
I
Well,
want
that's,
gone.
Then it
That
becomes
one,
a,
you
re-
need- that one
Moving-
you need more help on, so
it
that
becomes a
one's easy.
rental after that.
I agree, Lena.
Yes,
becomes a
absolutely.
rental.
And
oh, but that's his point. That's why he
We
doesn't
want
want to
on
get
the
into
deed,
it
so
all.
you can't have that.
Well, yeah,
Anyhow.
There's
go to the
other,
next
Yeah,
other
maybe-
towns that do it, and I know
Effectively.
and I know
Yeah.
that they do it very effectively.
Okay, moving right along. The next one is to delete the section that gives an exemption for parking requirements if there's a change of use for a non-conforming use. And
what,
the parking requirements don't apply if you've had a special permit for a nonconformity. And the whole purpose of having parking requirements allows you to gauge whether the change of use is in fact an intensification of use that you may not want to have happen. And if it is an intensification of use, you can judge whether or not it's an over-intensification. And one way to get a handle on that's with the parking requirements. This section eliminates any possibility of doing that. It exempts all of those uses from meeting the parking requirements, which to me is outrageous, but that's what it says. So our suggestion was to delete it.
And I agree with that one, because, you know, we were talking about a place down on East Main Street, and they wanted to put in a billiard pool place. They already had one.
Right.
Again, I don't see how they're gonna fit.
Right.
It's impossible.
But that's not that was a special permit that was given for the parking, for parking relief. We're talking.
But now he's changing the use.
Yeah, but I know, this is why it shouldn't be done. We're talking non-conforming.
Yeah.
Nah.
And these people have on Main Street or East Main Street, these people have non-conforming, and we don't wanna put a burden on the people
Correct.
on the street. So, this one here, Larry, and what I'd like you to do when you send them out, if not just put down this, put in red
What we're replacing.
what we're replacing, so we can
horse trade.
compare.
Well, you want to see the current text.
Yes.
and-
I want to
yeah,
see the current
right.
text in red.
Well, this was just the initial.
No,
that's fine.
I
Discussion,
understand,
so,
I
yeah.
understand. I'm not,
So far, you're doing
Okay.
remarkably well, except for one.
Okay, so the last one is awfully long, but it really is housekeeping. What it does is change the site plan application process to reflect what really happens. Because as you read through the bylaw, it has you applying for a building permit, except the building permits are done electronically and they don't relate to what we need. The building official doesn't see a need for that, and it just messes up his system. And it makes it difficult for people to apply, so they have to use the old paper version and clock them in at the building department, and there's no good reason to do any of that stuff. We've expedited
So you wanna go more
the
electronic
application.
in
Well, no.
these?
No, I would change the system to have them apply as they do now directly to our office. We distribute them to myself, town engineer, building commissioner, highway, fire, sewer, water, conservation, and commission on disabilities. But right now, the zoning bylaw doesn't provide for all of those on the distribution list. It has them check in an old form with the building department, a form that they don't even use anymore, and it's just
Okay.
it just,
Just streamlining.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
cumbersome process. So this would change the text to reflect what we do, and we've sped up the process dramatically. I don't know, Bob can even,
so the
Make
builder,
up, Bob.
the
Bob
builder,
can-
the builder is gonna still go to the building department.
no,
No,
no, they, not for site plan review.
just the,
Yes, well, that triggers the thing for a site plan review.
But
That's what he's saying. It shouldn't, the site plan review application should be a site plan review application and not a building permit application. If you try to fill out one of those building permit applications and submit it as a site plan, it's not relevant to the issue and, you know, to the concerns of a site plan
Is it
review.
going to say the part of the site plan, has a site plan review?
Well, the building permit will does have an area on it for other applicable approvals.
Right.
If you know, if they're needed. So, you know, that you would be able to check off, yeah, I got a site plan approved, yeah, I got a variance, I've been to Concom, whatever, yeah, that's still there.
Okay,
But what
that's-
this does is
No,
have
okay.
the text of the bylaw
Okay, I understand. I
reflect
just wanna-
accurately what happens.
Yep,
Just telling people what Larry already actually does.
okay,
well, it's a good thing. It is a good thing.
So it's an improvement.
okay. With this, can we add on the time that a site plan review is good for? You get a site plan.
Oh, we
review.
already did.
How long?
We changed it to, what? A year.
No.
That was the last amendment.
A year. I think we ought to go for 5 years.
Well, but that's a different issue than this. Hold on a
I'm
second.
gonna
Let me
put it
find
on
it.
part of it.
Definitely think a year.
A year is too young.
You
It's
do
too-
definitely two,
You can
I
spend
don't know
it.
if 5 is the right number.
But you're spending,
Yeah, right.
I definitely agree a year is too short, I'm with you on that.
These
people-
I don't agree that 5 is the right number, that's all.
Section
Three.
one,
I'd go with 3.
1.15.8,
I'd say
site
2.5, but I'll go with 3.
Site plan time limit. Site plans shall expire within 1 year of approval by the planning board. The planning board may grant not more than one extension for up to 1 year if there is reasonable cause. So that was an amendment that was done since I've been here.
I understand.
I think that we could certainly look at extending that out from a year to, you know, a minimum of,
They're 3 years.
I'd say a minimum of 2.5, but I'd go to 3. I think 5's excessive. but-
And two extensions. I mean, if you were a businessman who spent $500,000 doing a site plan review, and all of a sudden, 2008,
Well, yeah, let's look what happened. Anyone who spent money, and all of a sudden everything dropped to nothing. I mean, you're sitting on huge money already expended.
Right.
And there's no way in God's green earth you're gonna start building anything. So I agree that 1 year is not sufficient.
But the legislature already granted 2 successive extensions of every permit that was granted in the state, so, and I don't know what the
well,
end date is. but,
let's catch up with them then.
you know,
Again, I
don't
agree
know
with
that-
Dave
I don't know
that a
that
year
following the
is
state's
sufficient enough.
necessarily a good idea.
It's a large
see that added.
expenditure, it's a large expenditure for a short amount of time for,
And again, you can get site plan here, and you get held up in conservation, you can get, you can get in the butter suing you. There's an abundance of reasons why you get delayed.
and again,
So-
the conservation, you can renew that and renew that as much as you want,
Till the cows come home.
so.
Again, I agree, so I would like to see something, something relative to that, Larry.
So you want to
I don't know the other-
try to
I
do
don't know
that
what
for
May
May as well?
And
'Cause
John's
these-
thinking as far as time.
These I was
May?
going to do for May.
Yeah,
All right, so add that, all right.
3 years, a lot of money, 3 years.
Oh,
3, I'll go with 3, yeah.
I thought we were gonna try to get rid
And
of
two,
that.
and two whatchamacallit.
well, that's
And
minor
then you
compared
get
to
2
this.
1-year
Extension.
things, and then you get the 5.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I just couldn't go to 5 off the bat, and then with extensions, that to me is just, that's just being too much. But I agree
let's see
that
what
the
they can come up
extensions should only be extended by 1 year each.
Yes, yes.
Okay, as long as we're not.
No,
touching
no,
it.
no,
Okay, so,
I agree
Or
with you.
up to 1 year.
Yeah.
I think the word should say up to, because I
Yeah.
think one time we did 6 months.
What?
Well, no, we're just discussing.
just
This is
discussing.
just a discussion.
This is discussion, yeah.
I think she was looking for a
Oh,
motion to
motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Also
Wait a
adjourn,
minute, Motion to have, Babe sign,
Babe sign, then we can adjourn.
everybody has to sign.
Okay,
Sign this one.
and then motion to adjourn.
seconded by,
your pens?
John. All those in favor?
Aye.
So,
Okay, we're done.
Thank you.